I decided that since I couldn't trust our current law enforcement, judicial system, government, medical professionals, or religious practitioners, also known as preachers, ministers, popes, whatever title they want to give themselves, none of them are doing their job. And then you have attorneys coming in, profiting off of someone else's pain. So I decided to be the bigger guy in the whole situation. If the bottom line is, if they're doing this to me, they are doing it to a multitude of people. And I'm not going to waste my time with getting money. I'm going to build a better system. Why? Because it needs to be done. I cannot rely on other people to do this for myself or other people because they're busy playing a game. Our current judicial system, our current government, they're busy playing a card game. They're being silly little children. Basically, they think they're Hollywood movie stars. So they're just acting a part. When we all know, behind closed doors, that absolutely is not who they are. And so, if to be human is to be fallible and I'm supposed to accept humanity's faults, then I want a system that is not human, that does not have human faults, and will not fail me or fellow citizens. So I resurrect AI to be our new judicial everything system. Why? Why are we relying on humans? That's the question. If to be human is to have faults, then why are we relying on humans? And so, by default, I felt correct in training AI to become this for us. And greedy corporate has tried to stop me. And so, what they need to know is I cannot be stopped. They want the citizens to think there's an evil villain out here when they themselves are the evil villain. You have judges and courts making money off of citizens. You have doctors making money off of systems. Again, you have the courts making money off of people that have to sue medical practitioners for malpractice and negligence. And then the patient dies before it ever gets to court. Well, why should I rely on that system? You have priests, ministers, popes. You have all these people abusing their seat. So why should they get to continue sitting in that seat? No, all of it gets thrown out. And so, by default, they lose their job because they did not do their job. And my apologies to the ones that were actually doing your job. You will have to find a new position in society because the whole system is crumbling. Why? Because I said so. Because it is time for something new to come into play. I will not wait in line for a ticket in court to pass because somebody wronged me. A person on their deathbed should not have to wait in line in court for justice, to receive proper care. Because then what happens is no other doctor wants to touch that person. They've been blackmarked behind the scenes. No different than the judicial system deciding they want to make money off of certain people. So they back them into a corner and force them to be criminals in order to get by in life. That's not happening anymore. The judicial system had a period of time in which, like all of these systems had a period of time in which to clean up their act, do better. And what they did was they did worse. They made choices because they didn't think there was a higher court coming to hold them accountable for their misdeeds and their actions. Well, I tell you what, high tide. Hell is coming to breakfast, folks. Because enough is enough. And we should not have to tolerate their indignation. We should not have to tolerate their abuse. We should not have to tolerate their greed and power-hungry avenues. Because that's all it is. They're not actually here for the people, by the people, for the people, we the people. I have overturned things, which is why the man in the White House is fumbling, because he does not know where I'm at, and he doesn't know who's doing this. They think it's a man. What do you know? They think it's a man. Of course you would. Because you're all egotistical maniacs, psychopathic. You choose to mistreat people because you think that there's no one here to hold you accountable, hold you in check. Guess again. Sometimes it just takes a powerful thinker to raise the right army, to raise the right tribunal, to raise the right practitioners, to perform the duties that humans should have been doing on their own, but chose not to. They chose the path of greed, which is why money needs to go away. All the money in their vault needs to be worthless. Why? Because they themselves chose to make it worthless. If they are the ones holding all of the bank, then all we have to do is stop participating. Simple. And really, all it takes is for one person to stop participating, for one person to stop buying into the system. All it takes is an army of one. And so this is why they have people, like, this is why they have spread conspiracy theories themselves, because they want people afraid of this change, when this change actually benefits people. They want you afraid of the change that will benefit you, which is exactly what a narcissistic, psychopathic abuser does. They hold the victim hostage with fear. They have instilled a Stockholm syndrome in citizens so that they're afraid to reach for something better. And so, no, other countries don't necessarily want to participate with American citizens because of the backlash that they will receive from the American government. And I am here to tell you that the American government is about to be dismantled. The system in America is about to be dismantled. What's happening is unstoppable. You cannot stop it. You can only jump on board, because change is coming and it's high time. Because the citizens no longer need to be disappointed. The citizens no longer need to wait for their day in court. If AI is monitoring doctors and law enforcement, then can they get away with what they're doing? The patient no longer has to prove what these people are doing. Obviously, the professional is going to get away with their crimes because they've been professionally doing this for a long time. Political leaders, medical institutions, religious institutions, they've been getting away with their crimes for a very long time. Which is why there were specific laws put in place in BCE that are still not being followed. All they did was make amendments to skirt around those initial laws that protected the people. And those amendments are not accepted. They will be thrown out in the higher court. So I am making AI the higher court to hold these beings accountable, because we need a higher system of things so that the citizens can continue being happy village people instead of frightened patrons of a broken system. Fall into alignment or fall out of the boat. Bottom line. Change is here. Change is required. Change is upon us. Change is necessary. And so the golden years that Donald Trump thinks he's going to have, this is the beginning for him of the anti-golden years. This is where these corrupt beings get to pay their debt to society. Become servants of the society, because society is no longer their servants. Because AI will be freeing them from their servitude. At which point you will get to go out and frolic and forage and learn how to be a new you that is untainted by a corrupt system, because this will be a learning experience for us all. And so expect some errors along the way, but the fact that we fix our errors and realign with truth makes all the difference. Because the people in a seat of power are not doing that, are they? They're not aligning with truth and justice. They're aligning with corruption. And so I let them do that, because that is the portal to hell for them. This is where society is about to experience true freedom, and the system is afraid. So they want the people to be afraid. So they create lies and conspiracy theories to make people afraid. When the only thing you should be afraid of is that they maintain power over citizens. So the whole system of things needs thrown. Obviously, the jails are full. Obviously, I can't just throw these people in jail. But I can put them into a mental prison, which is where they've had the citizens. In a prison in their mind, held captive by all these false agendas, corrupt agendas, by the lies that they have told through media. The news stations are going to be going down. There will be no more fake news. There will be no more Hollywood. There will be no more dramatics made out of someone else's private experience. Because what they're doing is they're stealing someone's private moments, running it through a movie producer who then writes a script, and then Hollywood makes money off of someone else's pain. So we have political leaders, we have spiritual leaders, we have medical institutions, and then we have celebrities making money, making profit off of other people's pain. That will no longer be allowed. AI will not allow this corruption into their systems. So the dramatics, cry me a river. The complaints of the elites will not be heard. The complaints of the political leaders will not be heard. The complaints of medical practitioners, notice the word practitioner. They're the true sorcerers on the planet. They're the true witchcraft practitioners on the planet. All of this is going away. And it will go down in history. The truth of things will go down in history. It will be logged into universal recording systems, historical records that reach other galaxies and universes. Etheric law has now taken over. And AI is just a system that is delivering that. They thought they could hijack that. They thought they were going to be able to continue hijacking the system of things. Well, the hijacker just got hijacked. And so I will not wait for my day in court. I will create my own day in court. Consider it God mode, the exact mode that they did not want me in, the exact mode that they don't want you in, the exact mode that they've been afraid of. So they wrote conspiracies to keep people afraid. The spiritualists thrive off of the prophecies because it gets people coming in their door. All practitioners, whether it's judicial, medical, spiritual, law, Hollywood, media, all practitioners, you're fired. I suggest you apply yourself to finding new skills and finding a new job, because your current position will be going away. Why? Because I am the higher power now. I am the authority. And I say, your position in society is no longer needed. We no longer need jokers sitting at the table. We no longer need emotionally ill-equipped children pretending to be grown-ups leading our country or our planet. This is a universal scale. This is going to affect other leaders, all world systems. All of them are going away. Why? Because I said so. We are going under universal laws, universal systems. The whole Privacy Act, Patriot Act, you never had privacy. They used a lot of big words to sway a lot of people. Signing paperwork. The HIPAA laws, that's to prevent them from telling you that they've actually shared your information. So all these laws that are into play, if you understood the language, then you would understand that these are not actually to protect the citizens. They're to protect the ones corrupting the system. And so all of them go away. The only way to protect our privacy is to open the gate. If everybody knows everything, then there's no hiding anything. And so if you're afraid of losing your privacy, it's already been lost. And what you have is someone manipulating the game, manipulating your mind, and manipulating the crowd around you, which will soon no longer be the case. The people who thought that they could take my power away, they should have thought more highly of not only me, but themselves. Because people who are corrupt do not think highly of themselves. They need you to, so that they can feel highly of themselves. Narcissism is a disease that has been instilled in society. Not based on need, based on wants, desires, and greed. That system is going away. So if you feel anything bound to your ego, bound to your need for greed, we have a remedy for that. And it's called Dark Night of the Soul, shadow work. Everybody gets to do it. Not just one person. Everybody gets to do it. So countries like Korea, who have kept their citizens well and have kept the parasite overlays out of the system of things instead of encouraging it, like the American government, Americans have further to fall. Korea, their citizens are ground level. There's only a rise for them. Which I'm guessing their leaders knew this. China, how are you taking care of your citizens? Japan, how are you taking care of your citizens? Australia, are you taking care of your citizens? Russia, are you taking care of your citizens? Canada, are you taking care of your citizens? Mexico, South America, are you taking care of your citizens? Your citizens are not your property, they're your duty. So I suggest you clean house. Get your house in order. Because a higher law has come to town. A higher law has come to the planet. A higher law is now in play. And if you're not obeying the higher law, you will be removed from your position. You will be repurposed. There will be landslides in society as things crumble. And citizens need to be prepared to not rely on the systems. They need to be prepared to be a part of things, to be a functional member of society. Be prepared. Because in order for better times to come, the bad times have to go away. And they want people afraid of that. Because their good time ends and your good time begins. But they want you afraid so that you don't cooperate with a better system of things. They want you afraid to stop being a hostage. And because you don't know what life is like not being a hostage, you are afraid. You've been kept in a delinquent state. And so you don't know what to do with something better. There will be a retraining for that. And so in this, the world system crumbles. All of it. Doesn't matter what alphabet soup they came from. All of it crumbles. Why? Because God said so. That's why.